Hey guys, it's Yaya Diamond, and I want to welcome you to our show today. Today we have a young author, but not only that, an author that picked up a book when he was young and then he rewrote it and put it out. That to me is amazing because I've written some really crazy little books when I was young and they're never going to be published ever. But I want to thank you
Yeah.
guys so much for tuning in. And we have Mayad. Is that how you say Mayad or Mayad?
Maya, yeah.
Mayad on the show today. Mr. Mayad, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Yeah. So, like she said, I'm an aspiring author, aspiring writer, trying to make as many, new books, trying to take stuff from the past and bring it now because, I mean, like Yaya said, all of us have made books in the past, and I think turning it into something like that you can see on the shelves is just really cool. So, thank you for having me.
No problem, no problem. So okay, so I mean, you started writing when you were young. Tell me about
Mhm.
this.
So, I mean, I think most kids just, especially back when we didn't have phones and stuff. I mean, of course I'm the new generation, so most kids nowadays have phones. But even with phones, there's still a lot of kids out there that use drawing apps and stuff. I personally use drawing apps. It's actually how I created the illustrations in this new version of my book. And so, I mean, as a kid, I picked up drawing. I mean, okay, at the start I wasn't good at it, but we were still able. Most kids were still able to kind of create a storyline of images. Obviously, the stories weren't great or anything. It was just usually stuff we saw on TV. For me, it's because I've always liked cartoons, TV shows, movies, and I think that's the thing I just like the most, being creative to make things. Because sure, I like watching stuff and reading stuff, but I thought having my name on whatever I was making is just way better. So instead, I tend to to make stuff more than watch stuff now. But yeah, so I always liked drawing stuff. Art class was always my favorite in elementary school, and yeah, that's basically how I got into it. But as well, oh yeah, not only that, but I always had access to colored pencils and stuff. I would always ask for that on birthdays and stuff. I never really wanted like expensive shoes or clothes, anything like that. I just wanted to be able to draw and make stuff. So yeah, I mean, I started off with just like the stapled paper, making like five folds of paper and then stapling it all together, like really short stories and stuff like that. But to me, that was just fun. So yeah, that's how I started.
That is so cool. You know what? I loved the fact that I used to be able to glue paper together to make it
Hmm.
thicker, and
Oh
then
yeah,
like the bind, like the little paper to go
yeah,
around it to bind it, and then I used to do that.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a mess.
No, but that was the
That
charm
was
of
the
it, to be
fun
honest.
part about it.
Yeah, the fun part. Because if
Yeah, it was.
looking back now, I mean, I actually have something with me. Let's see, like I have a book right here. Like it's just something I made when I was like 5 years old or something,
Oh,
and it's just like cool. You can see the staples. I mean, it wasn't anything like any great illustrations or anything, but I still remember making it. I still remember
oh.
getting the ideas and stuff, and it was just really fun for me. So it's really nice looking back on it. But now that you actually have access to printing and publishing, self publishing especially. Um, it's really easy to get your name out there and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to see where it goes.
Me too. Me too. And okay, so you took a book that you wrote when you were how old, and now it's published?
Yeah, so I took a book I wrote when I was like 9, and so yeah, it's been like around 6 7 years, and I published it. At first, I published it with this other company, and that was just the old version. So basically, what they did was just I just scanned all the old drawings and everything. I didn't make any changes. The only thing I did was obviously I had to write it in text because the it was my handwriting from when I was 9, so it wasn't the best. So I had to make it clearer for the publishing company. But not until it wasn't until like I think the summer, no, before the summer of this year, where I was like, okay, I want to, because, I like the story so much that I wanted to, make it with new illustrations, kind of re envision it. So, because I believe that it could be better, especially with the skills I've gained. So, I was like, okay, so I'll make new illustrations for it. I'll change the story up a little bit and, try to find a publishing company that likes the idea. And that's what I did. So, here we are now.
That's so cool. That's so cool. So, Mr. Dellwood, what is this book about?
So, Mr. Dellwood, I mean, since it's a children's book, I wanted to kind of use children's book I've seen, and it's inspired by a lot of different things. fairy tales, poems, but it's still supposed to be like a realistic story. But basically, what it's about is, so there's this man named Mr. Dellwood, but most people call him Mr. Dell, and he just loves how he's a really outgoing, energetic person. He's caring. He has a lot of friends. He lives in a small city, so like the community all knows him. But what basically happens is there's something that happens in his life and kind of changes things for the worse, because I mean we all have those moments where one little small change like makes things a lot more annoying to deal with and stuff like that. So it's basically showing like how to overcome some small changes and like deal with like the small annoying things, small obstacles. And it's not anything too in depth or hard to know. I've tried to make it as easy to understand for kids, because I mean these were the type of books I was reading. So if I could understand that, then kids nowadays definitely could. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, the main inspiration I got from it was this book I read in second grade, which it was a, I can't remember what it was called, but it was definitely it was something about this guy. He actually looks similar to the character I have in my book, Mr. Dellwood, and but the difference is that he's like a hot dog man, and he's selling hot dogs to these kids, right? And this the themes were similar. It was about kind of giving back to the community and being nice to others, because that's also another theme presented in my story near the end of it. And I just really like those themes because I think like every children should know about that. Every kid should read about that. And I wanted to kind of use these new illustrations to make it more apparent, because with the old illustrations it was kind of just chicken scratch. You couldn't really tell what was happening, but this time you can definitely see the vision I was going for. So yeah, that's where I got then the idea for remaking it.
That is so cool, though. That is really so super cool. You know,
Thank
when
you.
we look back at authors and different people and the influences, what is going to be the influence that you're going to grab for the next book that you're about to do? Because I know as a writer, you just
Mhm.
can't stop there. You
Yeah.
have to keep going. So you have to tell me what's next.
So right now, I'm actually writing something right now. It's not for children, but it's not like anything uh like gruesome or anything. It's just like it's more more like aimed at teenager stuff, more about like bettering yourself, stuff like that. And I guess you can label as like a fitness book. But right now, I'm actually really deep into that one. It's going to be way longer than this, because this is just a short story for children. But this one, so far, it's reaching 200 pages. But right now, I'm just editing, because I like to edit as I go. I don't want to do it all after I'm done, because it just feels like too much of a hassle. So I just edit as I go. So that's why it's taking a little longer. But I've been working on it for a couple months, and I think this one is definitely going to be. It's definitely going to. It's going to be easy to promote. That's what I'll say. But it's definitely going to be a more engaging, more well, it depends on the reader, but it's going to be easier to relate to, because this is definitely like a lot of the things addressed in the book are definitely a lot of issues going on right now, and especially with social media and everything out. It's very it tells a story from a person, not a real person, not me either, but it tells a person like anybody can fill their shoes, anybody can fit themselves into, and it's really relatable, I guess, is how I would describe it. So I'm excited to see how it finishes.
Wow, me too. Me too. You know,
Mhm.
as when I was younger, I never thought that I would be doing grown-up stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But forget it. Grown-up stuff. You kidding me? No
Yeah.
way. It's like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I understood that grown-up stuff really was a lot of fun. What
Mhm.
kind of gratification do you get from authoring books?
Well, I mean, like I said, I always, anytime I watched or read anything, I always like it would seem so cool to have something under my name. So when I publish these books, like it feels like every book that's ever been published, I think, yeah, and even when I publish books, like I think any book I publish, it can't be bad, because I mean, think about it. To get to a point to publish a book, even if it's self-publishing, you have to edit it, you have to do so much to it. I mean, for me, I don't know how it is for other people, but for me, if I start a book and I've started many books. There's actually a book that was around 200 pages that I thought it just turned bad near the end, and I just scrapped the whole thing entirely. And and the thing about that was that it wasn't that it was bad near the start. It was because one little one little mishap kind of made me lose motivation to write the rest, right? And that's the thing with writing is that once if I can publish a book, that then it's a success in my eyes. So but the good thing about it is that I can go back at any time to that book, like I mentioned, and I can change it and I can rewrite it and I can publish it. So I think the gratification I get is just the feeling of success and also getting a message out there. Because I actually like to write in multiple different genres. I don't really want to limit myself. I mean, one day I could be writing a mystery, one day I could be writing horror. It just depends on the day and the mood. And I also don't like really want to really try to pressure myself to finish something all in one go. I mean, I just like spread things out. Whatever I'm feeling, I write it, and one day I might come back to it, I might not. So that's kind of how I go, and that's the feeling I like when I finally finish something. I know where I started as well.
Awesome. Awesome. So, I mean, do you have any advice for the young writers out there that are struggling with moving forward in their writing
Mm.
capabilities? I mean, do you have to be perfect?
No, that's the thing. A lot of young authors try to think like they believe that you gotta to make, especially nowadays, because with the threat of things like AI and all these other things, people believe everything has to be perfect because it can be compared to things that not even humans make, and people are now saying that this is better, right? So that's the really concerning thing about it is that people think that you have to, especially on your first try, people think you have to give a really good first impression. But and although I believe the first impression thing is true, I don't think you have to go all out because I mean the real good thing about is publishing and making your own stories to show like who you are as an author. So as long as you're unique, you have some original story, original idea to show, then I think anybody could like it because for me, I mean, this book, I wouldn't say, it was something I wrote when I was in elementary school. So if I was able to take that and transform it to something that's relevant today, then you're pretty much able to make anything. And I mean, I wouldn't call any book perfect because, of course, I mean, you can go through it. There's probably some grammatical errors and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the main important thing is that you're getting a message and you're showing who you are as a writer, who you are as an illustrator, and that's the most important thing to me. And for anyone who's trying to be like an aspiring writer, aspiring author, I think inspiration is the main key. A lot of people they don't want to take from things. They think it's like ripping off stuff. They don't really like being called out for that. But for me, actually, it's a good thing because if you're able to make a connection to something really popular or something a really famous book, I think that's actually a compliment because I mean, think about it. Imagine someone saying, "Oh, you remind me of Shakespeare," something, or "Your writing is exactly like Shakespeare." That would be a good thing in my eyes. So I don't know. I think people should lean into inspiration more. They should take inspiration from a lot of things, and that's the main way people write. You can't expect to have all original ideas. I mean, I don't think anybody does. So I mean, just look around you and find what you like, and just create something using all that around you. That's my main advice.
Wow, wow, that is so cool. Mr. Mayad,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Is it Mayad or Mayad or I always
Mayod.
I always get it wrong. There's
it's
just so
it's
many
fine.
different ways to say it, right? So Mayad, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Awesome.
You
Thank you
got it.
so much for being on the show. We have
Thank you.
Mr. Dellwood up on Amazon. You can get that on the Amazon bookstore.
Mhm.
You can type it into Amazon.com. You can go to Yaya Diamond's book club and get it. Where else can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at kind of funny username, Mr. Ducko. But I will probably be rebranding soon. You can also find the book on Barnes and Noble. It's also available for digital purchase on Kindle Publishing, and also it's also available in two different formats as of right now, paperback and hardcover. So yeah,
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. And
thank
thank
you.
you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to dare to be different. And until next time, guys, bye.